The sun is shining, the grass is green, it's a beautiful day for softball. Hello everyone, a very pleasant good afternoon to you and welcome inside the broadcast booth. For Dominic Alone, I'm Christopher Francisco. Today we have a great Sunshine State Conference matchup for you as the Embry Riddle Eagles take on the Tampa Spartans. For more on today's game, here's the five-tool player himself, Dominic Alone.
Trying to do a little bit of everything today, working at the PA and now on the broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. McKaylee Dooley in the circle for yet another game for the Spartans as they're taking on the Embry Riddle Eagles, and Dooley will start it off with a strike right down Broadway. Leading off for the Eagles today is Maggie Scott playing center field. Chris, you were here with me last night. What did you see from the Eagles, and what do you expect here today?
Well, the story in yesterday's game was a pitching duel.
As Scott gets the bunt down, and Bailey Phillips slings it over to first, not in time. Leadoff runner on for the Eagles, first base runner, first batter of the day.
Dooley pitched the whole game last night, and she starts the game back in the circle.
Yeah, pretty astonishing to see her back out here again today in first game for the Spartans. After last night, she went all 9 innings, taking the loss in the 9th inning. 3-0 loss Spartans to the Eagles as Maddie Farrell backpicks the first base, not in time.
Especially with the quick turnaround, 12 o'clock game today.
Quick turnaround, 12 o'clock game, early start, normally a 1 o'clock start for the Spartans. At the plate right now is Mackie Chandler in right field for the Eagles. Dooley winds and fires, fouled straight back. So last night, the Eagles sent out Alona Adringa. This afternoon, they'll have Jayla Jackson on the mound. Jackson 6-1 on the season, 3.65 ERA. She's had 3 complete games for Embry Riddle. Now it looks like home plate umpire Daniel Batts will take a look at the bat of Mackie Chandler. All good to go there.
Not quite sure what was going on there.
Sometimes the bat sounds dead. Take a look at it. Make sure there's no cracks or anything like that. Dooley winds and fires. Scott was taking off towards second. Clawberg underneath of it. She'll squeeze it. Sling it over to first. But Bo John Drury, the base umpire, calls Scott safe at first. 1 down for the Spartans.
That's a tough play. The sun is shining today right down on the players. Have to shield your eyes from it.
Yeah, like you mentioned, 12 o'clock start. Sun is directly above the players.
Not much of a breeze, 71 degrees.
It's a beautiful day for 2. Now at the mound is Katie Thompson, who got moved up in the lineup after a 3-for-4 ball game, and she'll hit a flare to shallow left field, and that'll drop right in front of Shelby Press. That was a tough play for Shelby to make, and with Bailey Phillips cheating shallow in the infield, there was no chance for anybody to get to that one.
Another one of those hits that falls in the perfect spot.
So now at the plate is Mariana Pereira, the first baseman. She was 1 for 4 last night. She had a double and an RBI. Pereira flared that one to left field, Press underneath of it, shields the sun and makes the catch. 2 down for the Spartans as the big hitter Kyla Rain will step to the plate.
Now batting, number 1, Kayla Rain.
Kyla Rain leading the team in hits and RBIs for the Eagles. She'll swing right through the first pitch.
Dooley working very quickly to start this one.
Scott on first, and the bunt's down by Kyla Rain, and she'll poke it through the left side. Clawberg covering third, and Bailey Phillips charging. Nobody will get to it, and that'll score a run for the Embry Riddle Eagles. Moving to third base is Katie Thompson. And the Eagles have second and third as Kyla Rain advances to second base. That was a routine bunt there. Bailey Phillips not able to get to it.
Phillips didn't dive for it, couldn't keep it in the infield, and they score a run.
She wasn't able to get to it. She was charging, went underneath her outreaching glove. And as I said, Clawberg was on the rotation play, and it went right through the 5.5 hole. Now at the plate is Pekka Lopez. She'll send that one into left field, right at Shelby Press for the 3rd out of the inning. However, the Eagles do get the lead in the 1st inning. 1-0 ball game here at Naboli Family Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on the Saturday afternoon. Spartans lineup this afternoon is as follows. Serena Cortez leading off as usual, playing center field, the senior leader for the Spartans. In the 2-hole, Christina Klauberg at shortstop. In the circle, McKaylee Dooley. In the 4-hole, Bailey Phillips, the true freshman, playing third base. In the 5 spot, Maddie Farrell behind the dish. In the 6 spot in left field, Shelby Press, already gotten a few plays in the outfield. At designated player in the 7 spot, Taylor Farrell. Freshman Emily Jansen in the 8-hole playing first base. And rounding off the lineup, Erica Matic playing second base. In the flex position playing right field is Lauren Reyes. Spartans already down a run here early on. Fighting that uphill battle, not something they would prefer to do. In the circle for the Eagles, as I mentioned previously, Jayla Jackson sitting with the 6-1 record. Now, last night, Serena Cortez went 2 for 4 with a double. However, the Spartans couldn't put any runs across. It was a quick ball game last night, but 9 innings.
Not too many base runners left on base.
Yeah, could take a toll on these players today. First pitch up and in on Serena Cortez for a ball. That was kind of unfortunate what happened there in the first inning, with that bunt through the left side, driving in the run.
That's a play that you at least have to keep the ball in the infield to save a run.
Goes down as a double in the books. With an RBI. On a
bunt
simple
double.
bunt, right, yeah, exactly.
Don't see those too much every day.
No. You think Ichiro Suzuki was in the box or something, the
Yeah.
way she was able to get to second base so quickly. The 2-0 pitch swung right through by Serena Cortez. Start off the game as a leadoff hitter. Normally, you like to see as many pitches as possible. But Cortez being aggressive here early on. Cortez will get the bunt down. Destiny Carroll coming across, and Cortez will beat that one out. Great job by Cortez, able to get on there. Seems like we'll have a question here by head coach Kelsey Dunn of the Embry Riddle Eagles. Destiny Carroll, third baseman, looks a little confused herself. And now the umpires will come together. As I mentioned, Daniel Batts behind the plate and Bo-John Drury on the bases. Same pairing from last night. And Bo-John Drury will overrule home plate umpire and say it was a foul ball. Cortez will come back to the plate. We've got a 2-2 count now to Serena Cortez. And now Leslie Cantor will get a word of her own. What'd you think on that play there, Chris?
I'm not sure what happened, actually. Maybe the ball hit the bat twice.
That definitely could potentially be what happened. But from up here, I couldn't tell. Anyways, back to action. 2-2 count to Serena Cortez, the leadoff hitter for the Spartans. Jayla Jackson winds and fires. Cortez will flare that one into the netting.
Maybe Cortez touched the ball while she was in the batter's box.
That could be it. Not really sure. Maybe we can get a clarification from Daniel Batts in between innings. Last night over at baseball, Spartans took a 9-1 victory against Barry University. They'll take on a doubleheader again this afternoon starting at 1 o'clock. And Cortez will foul that one straight back. here on the softball side of the Sunshine State Conference. Embry Riddle sitting in second place. Currently at 12-3 on the season. And Tampa sitting in third place. Cortez fouls that one yet again. Spartans at 8-8 in conference. Everybody looking up to Palm Beach Atlantic, who's undefeated. They've got a weekend series against Florida Tech. 2 games this afternoon as well. Cortez will drive that one at the shortstop. Lopez comes across and slings it over for the first out of the inning. We saw last night time and time again, Pekka Lopez at shortstop. She's got a heck of a glove. She made a couple web gem plays. One in particular, she made a Willie Mays basket catch over her shoulder. Pretty impressive shortstop over there for the Eagles.
Great arm, and she's able to sling that ball over to first.
Now at the plate, Christina Klallberg. The shortstop for the Spartans. Take the called strike on the inner half. Klallberg batting .258 on the season. 23 games played in part to a quad injury. Hindered her a little bit on the season. She'll swing through that one. She started off the season pretty hot with a hit in the first 8 of 11 games. She'll try to get back to her ways. That pitch is way up. Now I'm interested to see if Adringa from last night will come into the game in relief for Jayla Jackson at some point. We saw time and time again Adringa's off-speed pitch was devastating to the Spartan hitters, and Klallberg goes down swinging for the second out. Jayla Jackson with her first strikeout of the afternoon. At the plate, the pitcher for the Spartans, McKaylee Dooley, unfortunately down a run here early on in the ballgame. Dooley looks at the first pitch, straight down the plate. 0-1 count. That one's just off the plate. Behind the plate, Katie Thompson trying to frame that one for the umpire. One count, 2 outs. Pitcher versus pitcher. Jackson fires and Dooley sends a flare shot into right field. Second baseman tries to make the play on it, but couldn't come up with it. It's a base hit for Kaylee Dooley. First one of the ball game for the Spartans.
Not easy play for the second baseman, trying to make the over-the-shoulder catch.
Not an easy play. Something that Lopez was able to do last night, but Lisa Hopp unable to make the play here in the bottom of the first inning. You know, she kind of coasted to that one. Something that Lopez did last night, she ran straight back to a spot and found the softball at a later point in time. A little bit easier to be able to get back on it and come in if you need to, rather than going backwards, and it's a tough play to make for anybody. True freshman Bailey Phillips at the plate with Dooley standing in first. Phillips will foul that one to the netting. 0-2 count. The 0-2 pitch from Jackson on the way. And Phillips fouls that one straight back.
A good swing there, just barely able to get a piece of the rise ball.
That's the thing with Phillips. She puts good contact on the ball. She also comes up with some good at-bats. She's among the leaders on the team in walks. She's got 9 on the season. And she'll watch that one in the other batter's box. Some of the Eagles fans over here trying to sell the umpire. Going to be a tough sell as that one was in the other batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning, Jackson winds and fires, and that pitch is inside. Bailey Phillips has played in every single game this season. True freshman making a heck of a contribution. Phillips batting .326. The 2-2 pitch off speed. She'll foul that one almost into the dugout. Coach Kander helping out Destiny Carroll at third base, flipping it over. Coach Kander currently sitting at 611 wins. Previously this season, got number 600. Chris, me and you did that ball game. Coach Kander building a heck of a program here at the University of Tampa.
That was a great day.
But Bailey Phillips will go down looking. Bottom of the first inning, Spartans trail by 1. Leading off for the Eagles is Destiny Carroll, the third baseman. Last night she went 1 for 4, driven in her RBI. 1 of 3 for the Eagles as they took a 3-0 victory in game 1 of this conference series. First pitch, called strike for McKaylee Dooley. Carroll send that one mile high to Clawberg at shortstop. Underneath of it, 1 away. Now stepping to the plate, we didn't see her last night, is Kendall Funk at designated player. Funk, a sophomore from Sumter, Florida. And currently Funk is got a 333 average. She's got 1 hit and 3 at-bats. So something to look out for.
Not much experience
Sophomore.
so far this season.
However, that 1 hit is a double. That pitch just a bit up. 1-1 count to Kendall Funk. Dooley winds and fires, and that one's fouled straight back. Embry Riddle currently on an 8-game win streak. Spartans will look to end that here this afternoon.
Spartans need to score some runs. They've been shut out their last 2 times.
And Funk will swing and miss straight through that one. The first strikeout of the day for McKaylee Dooley. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Spartans will need to put some runs on the board as they've been shut out in back-to-back games.
During this losing streak, they've combined for only 4 runs, and all those 4 runs are scored in 1 game.
We've got a foul ball in the box called by Daniel Batts. Excuse me, she's going to call her out of the box when she made contact for the bunt. And therefore, Lisa Hopp will be called out at the plate, and that'll end the inning. After the top half of the second, Spartans trail by 1. Leading off for the Spartans, Maddie Farrell, here in the bottom half of the second inning. Spartans trail by 1 after the first inning. Double on a bunt that scored Maggie Scott from second base. That bunt was put down by Kyler Rain. And that's how we are where we stand.
Farrell went 1 for 3 last night.
Now batting number 54, Maddie Farrell.
Farrell, look at the ball off the outside half of the plate. The last 6 games, Maddie Farrell batting .411 with 4 RBIs. However, last night she was 1 for 3. Farrell fouls that one straight back. Farrell swings right through that one. She's behind in the count, 1-2. Spartans 6-4 in the last 10 games. Farrell fouls that one into the parking lot. Misses a couple cars. Also in the lineup today is Taylor Farrell, the senior sister of Maddie Farrell, who's currently at the dish. And Maddie drives that one straight back to Jayla Jackson, who gets the easy out at first base. Stepping to the plate is Shelby Press.
Now batting number 18, Shelby Press.
Noticed over the last couple of games, she likes to really dig out the batter's box, almost create a hole at the plate. Every batter has got a different comfortable position, you know. Press fouls that one into the netting. Decent crowd here today at Namoli Family Stadium. Just over 70 degrees. A slight breeze blowing out to right field. Jayla Jackson winds and fires. That one's just a bit inside. Shelby Press batting .318 in 29 games played. Senior for the Spartans. Transfer from South Florida State College. In her second season with the University of Tampa. And she'll watch that one in the dirt. Currently a 2-1 count. Awaiting on deck is Taylor Farrell. Jayla Jackson with a 2-1 pitch. Shelby Press swings and a miss.
Jackson coming with the hard stuff today.
She got good velocity out there for sure. Haven't seen much of off speed from her.
Spartans have been behind a lot of these pitches.
The 2-2 fouled off the catcher's glove and straight back. One thing with Shelby Press, she will give a good at bat. She's definitely a scrappy hitter for the Spartans. The 2-2 delivery. Way up and way away. Three-2 count to Shelby Press, the left fielder. The 3-2. Called strike 3, and Shelby Press is sent down looking. The third strikeout of the day for Jayla Jackson.
Now batting number 2, Taylor Farrell.
Taylor Farrell making her way to the plate. see Daniel Batts is calling the inside strike, and something the hitters will have to adjust. Taylor swings right through that one.
That inside pitch is tough for some of the Spartans hitters because they stand over the plate.
Right on top of the plate, a lot of the hitters are. And when you do that, you can't tell what's inside and what's a strike. Taylor Farrell went 0 for 2 last night with a strikeout and a sacrifice. And she'll look at the called strike on the outer half. Way behind here, 0-2 to Jayla Jackson. Jackson winds and fires, and that won't be fouled down the first base line. On deck is Emily Jansen, and batting in the 9 hole is Erica Matic. The 0-2 pitch. Farrell fouls that one out of play. Oh, 2 count, 2 outs. And that one's just off the plate.
That's that borderline pitch on the outside corner.
Talk about painting the black, and that's what Jackson's trying to do. Definitely a close pitch with 2 strikes. And here's the 1-2. The off speed is fouled off by Taylor Farrell. Last night in her strikeout, she gave a good at bat, fouling off a few pitches. However, she went down looking. It was a big spot for the Spartans. Had runners on base, and as we mentioned, they weren't able to drive any of them in. Farrell fouls that one down the left field line. Putting up a good fight, and Coach Canner gives her a couple claps, trying to build the confidence in her senior hitter.
Spartans have had some long at-bats to start this game, but nothing to show for it so far.
Only in the bottom of the second inning. Jackson already in the 30 range, sitting at about 38 pitches. Farrell, that one's flared into foul play over the third baseman's head. Carol, Lopez, and Rain all came together, but nobody was able to make the play. Due up for the Eagles next inning. Top of the order, 1-2-3 coming up with Maggie Scott leading off. That pitch is way outside. Farrell works the count to 2-2. Taylor Farrell with 6 walks on the season. Currently with a .214 average. And she'll drive that one into shallow right field. Nobody is underneath of it, as the sun probably plays a factor in that one. Maggie Scott, the center fielder, not able to get to it. And it looked like Mackie Chandler was letting Scott get to that one. That'll go down as a base hit in the books for Taylor Farrell. After a long at bat, it's a good job by her. Now that'll bring up the true freshman, Emily Jansen.
It's a tough play there in right center field. It seemed like the center fielder Scott called it, but then couldn't find it.
Yeah, that 12 o'clock start, the sun's really a factor here this afternoon. We've seen it time and time again, and it's only the second inning. These players are trying to shield off that sun.
Not too many players wearing sunglasses.
And Jansen will flare that one behind the backstop, and the catcher, Katie Thompson, able to squeeze that one as she slides into the backstop.
Great play.
Heck of a job by her. No regrets sliding into the backstop. End of the second inning, Spartans trail 1-0. Leading off for the Eagles, leadoff hitter Maggie Scott. One count to Maggie Scott, the leadoff hitter. Back in the first inning, she reached base via a bunt. And she came around to score on a Kylie Rain bunt, which was good for a double.
A bunt double. We don't see those too often.
No, sir. Scott scored from second base on that base hit. Maddie Farrell going to talk to McKaylee Dooley, trying to get on the same page and have Dooley settle in. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the third inning. Dooley winds and fires. Scott drives that one. Ground ball to Matic at second base. Easy play. 1 away. Now at the plate, Mackie Chandler, the right fielder for the Eagles. We saw last inning, I wouldn't call it an error, but the sun played a factor in a base hit by Taylor Farrell, where Mackie Chandler and Maggie Scott came together in the outfield, and the ball dropped in between the two of them.
That's a play where if you call it, you better see the ball.
Exactly, and there it looked like Chandler kind of bailed off of it a little bit as she grounds that one to Clawberg at shortstop, fires it over to first for the second out. It looked like Chandler kind of backed off on it, and Scott might have called it. I'm not sure from here, but it looked like it would have been the center fielder's ball. However, nobody made the play. Now at the plate is Katie Thompson, who ended the second inning with a heck of a grab behind the backstop as she slid into the backstop. Dooley winds and fires, and there's that inside strike that Daniel Batts has been calling here this afternoon. Sent down Shelby Press looking last inning. And the way that Dooley's able to paint the corners and really use her location to her advantage, I'm going to make a safe assumption she's going to paint that inside corner the rest of the afternoon.
Dooley was able to do it pretty well yesterday.
Absolutely. She had 12 Ks in last night's outing through 9 innings. And that one's driven into center field. Cortez underneath of it. Can of corn for the final out of the third inning. Spartans will have the top of the order coming up here in the bottom of the third inning. Leading off here in the bottom of the third is Erica Matic. as the Embry Riddle Eagles come together in the circle and go over game plan here as they as they lead by 1. Spartans trail by 1 is what I was going to say, Chris.
That run came in the first inning.
First inning run, and Jackson hasn't looked back ever since. Jaylee Jackson, that is, for the Embry Riddle Eagles in the circle. And she'll skip that one into the dirt for ball 1. Matic last night went 1 for 3. She had a career-high 3 hits against Wheeling Jesuit back on February 28th. She went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs in that ball game. It was a heck of an afternoon for Erica Matic back on that February afternoon. Now she's trailing in the count at 1-1. Matic shows hands, gets the bunt down. Jaylee Jackson, a misfire to first base as Lisa Hopp was covering, and that'll be a base hit for Erica Matic. And now the umpires will come together again.
I think they're going to ask if Jackson caught that ball on the fly.
That could be it, because I honestly am not sure. I think Jackson might have had it. But they'll say no catch, and it's a base hit by Erica Matic. Probably an error by the official scorer. An error on Jayla Jackson, and the Spartans have a leadoff runner on. It'll be important to see what the Spartans can do with this important base runner, as that would be the tying run. And here with the leadoff hitter and Serena Cortez at the plate, could be a big opportunity for the Spartans to get on the scoreboard.
You can't be stressed enough how they need to start scratching some runs across the board.
Cortez gets the bunt down. Destiny Carroll at third base gets it. And Lisa Hopp is there in time. Looks like she might have came off the bag early, but they'll call an out at first base. What do you think, Chris? She hold the bag in time?
It was too close of a call to say, and the fielding umpire was way in the shortstop's hole, so I don't think we're going to get a question.
Base umpire Bojan Drury kind of had a weird angle on it as he was in the B position behind the second baseman. I think Coach Cantor might want to go to Daniel Batts on that one. But now Clawberg's at the plate, and we'll move on. Clawberg fouls that one off the face mask of Katie Thompson. Erica Matic stands on second with 1 away. Out of a sign of respect, Daniel Batts, the home plate umpire, is going to give Katie Thompson a minute. I like to see that some umpires don't give their courtesy to the catcher. Oh, 1 count. Jackson winds and fires. Clawberg gets the bunt down. It's on the foul line. It's a fair ball. Pereira tries to make the tag. Does not get the tag, but she'll fire to first for the second out. Sacrifice bunt by Christina Clawberg. Matic stands at third.
I don't know about that last
McKaylee
play.
Dooley. What's the question?
Deciding to bunt with the runner on second and already 1 out.
Yeah, with the 2-hole hitter up, definitely a questionable decision.
Need to score some runs.
And
Getting the runner to third doesn't make too much of a difference.
Dooley will fire that one down, foul down the left field line. And I agree with you, Chris, because here with Dooley at the plate, she is going to score with the ball put in play. However, if Clawberg would have had a base hit there, Matic probably would have scored from second base.
They basically just gave away an out.
Dooley fouls that one, fouling out of play. Yesterday afternoon, we kind of saw a similar situation. However, Cantor let the batter hit, and there was a foul. There was a fly ball into left field. Cortez was at second base, and she tugged up and got thrown out at third for the final out of the inning. Maybe Cantor wasn't trying to be put in the same position. Now runner on third, Dooley at the plate, and she'll chop that one up the middle. Lopez able to make the grab, and Dooley beats it out at first base. And that's an RBI single for McKaylee Dooley, able to get the Spartans on the board here in the bottom of the third inning. Heck of a play by Lopez to keep the ball in the infield, but the throw was not in time. Spartans all tied up at 1 here with true freshman Bailey Phillips at the plate. McKaylee Dooley helps herself out with an RBI single up the middle.
The Spartans finally get their run, the first time they've scored since last weekend.
Right, that is. Spartans actually on the board here in this game 2 of the conference series. And Phillips will foul that one into the netting. Every run matters, we keep saying it, especially against good pitchers like Jackson and Adringa from last night. As I aforementioned, I wonder if Adringa will be waiting in the wings. Phillips looks at the pitch right down Kennedy Boulevard, and she's behind in the count 0-2. Phillips went 0 for 4 last night and struck out looking in the first inning. 0 for 5 in the series. Should be looking for her first base hit here. Phillips fouls that one. Chris, what have you thought of the impact that these freshmen have been making so far this season? They've got a couple between Jansen, Phillips, and Emily Profit, who's currently on the bench this afternoon.
Well, obviously it's been a big impact, especially for Phillips. She's batting cleanup. She's done a lot on offense for the Spartans.
She'll foul that one straight back. Yeah, you're absolutely right to be able to plug a true freshman into the 4-hole. Shows the confidence that Coach Canner has in Bailey Phillips. Phillips playing third base for the Spartans here today. Played the majority of the games in the hot corner. Phillips to drive that one to Lopez at shortstop. And she'll boot that one. But Lisa Hopp is covering the bag, and the ball bounces right to her for the force out.
It's a 6-4 putout.
6-4 force out for the Eagles. But McKaylee Dooley able to get an infield single and drive in an RBI. Spartans tied up at 1.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. For Christopher Francisco, I'm Dominic Galone. Beautiful afternoon here. Top of the 4th inning, we've got a tie ball game. Leading off for the Eagles, Mariana Pereira, the first baseman. She flied out to left field in her first at bat. The second pitch is low and away. I believe we've got a 2-0 count to the batter, Pereira. McKaylee Dooley able to put the Spartans on the board with an infield single last inning. And that pitch is up and away. 3-0 count to Mariana Pereira. Dooley winds and fires. And that one's up and in, excuse me. The first walk of the afternoon for McKaylee. So one thing that Mac has been able to do pretty well this year is limit the walks. She currently has 159 strikeouts to only 18 walks. That's a heck of a stat, and it's kind of jaw-dropping when it comes down to it, as free base runners always hurt, whether it be errors or walks. And last night we saw that as the Eagles were able to get on the board in the 9th inning following an error by second baseman Erica Matic. And the next batter came up and hit a triple to right center field. Able to get the Eagles on the board in the 9th inning last night. Maddie Farrell back picks to first base, not in time.
Well, we talked about it a lot last night. This team kind of lives and dies with McKaylee Dooley, both on offense and pitching.
Yeah, she's definitely a double threat. She was able to get it done in the 3rd inning for the Spartans. 1-1 ball game we've got here. And
Nice
that's
play.
a nice
That's
play
a
by
great
Bailey Phillips as she lays out. As the bunt was tried to put down by Kyler Rain, 1 away for the Spartans. Speaking of Kyler Rain bunting, that's how the Eagles got on the board this afternoon. She put down a double for a bunt in the 5.5 hole.
Now batting number 14. Pekka
Now at the
Lopez.
plate is Pekka Lopez for the Eagles. It's a great play by Bailey Phillips. And this one's bunted right back to McKaylee Dooley, and she'll get the second out. Bailey Phillips was cheating in there and made a full extension grab in foul territory. Two away for the Spartans and Destiny Carroll at the plate. And that was just a bit low. And now the fans are chirping a little bit as they're looking to get consistency from the umpire, Daniel Batts. That one's way upstairs. 2-0 count to Destiny Carroll. Coach Canner will call time and go talk to McKaylee Dooley. I don't believe the pitching coach, Jackie Davis, is here right now. She is in the dugout, as the SID Felipe Telez tells me. But Leslie Cantor will take this mound visit and try to get her pitcher focused and in the zone. Normally you see the pitching coach go out there and talk to the pitcher, McKaylee Dooley. However, the head coach had something to say about this one. Mariana Pereira stands on second base. 2-0 count. And Carroll swings and misses through that one.
Perhaps Canner just went out there to give her pitcher a little breather. She did pitch the whole game last night, 9 innings.
True story. 9 innings from McKaylee Dooley. And she's getting the start here in game 2. Carroll flies that one into right field. Lauren Reyes shields off the sun and able to get the third out. Spartans have 5, 6, 7 coming up. The Farrell sisters will get some plate appearances. Tie ball game here at Namoli Family Stadium. Leading off for the Spartans here in the bottom of the fourth inning is Maddie Farrell, the catcher for the Spartans. The sophomore has been behind the plate in almost every game so far this season. She's played in 29 games, giving way to the senior Rachel Foote for one of those. Farrell's first at bat, grounded out to the pitcher. That was in the second inning when the Spartans trailed by a run, but it's a tie ball game now. And home plate umpire Daniel Batts is asking Jayla Jackson to take off the batting glove, I believe. Jayla Jackson winds and fires, and Maddie Farrell swings and misses through that one. Maddie Farrell fouls that one straight back into the netting. 0-2 count. That ball is skied a mile high to Becca Lopez at shortstop for the first out. Stepping to the plate as Shelby Press went down looking at her first at bat. That inside strike that the home plate umpire has been calling consistently this afternoon. She'll look to get something going here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. That's a called strike for the first pitch to Shelby Press. Press fouls that one, sends it into foul territory, but Pereira's underneath of it for the second out of the inning. Kind of some weak at bats right now from the Spartans. Wonder if Jackson's getting to him or fatigue might be setting in.
There's definitely some fatigue out there for both teams.
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround with the 12 o'clock start today after 9 innings last night. However, that game went pretty quickly as it was a pitcher's duel for 8 of those 9 innings. And that one's sent into right field. And Mackie Chandler underneath of it, and that'll do it for the fourth inning. 1-1 ball game here at Namoli Family Stadium.
Amazing new iPhone 8 is at AT&T, and we know you'll love it.
Because we know you want more.
More great camera features and more power.
And more than just unlimited data, we give you unlimited plans with HBO included for life.
Because you deserve more entertainment. And more spokespeople.
Talking like this, saying the word more.
AT&T.
It's time for more. Am I too close? I feel like I'm too close.
Get the iPhone 8, and with all AT&T unlimited plans, get HBO for life, only from AT&T.
An hour into the ball game here at Namoli Family Stadium, and we've got a tie ball game 1-1 here in the top of the fifth inning. This game seems to be moving so far. And now, Chris, we've got Sam K warming up in the bullpen. I'm not sure if that's for potentially next game, just getting her warm and loose, or if maybe they'll pull Dooley and send Dooley back out for game 3. Something to think
Certainly
about
a possibility
here in the fifth inning of a tie ball game. Because you never know, this one could go into extra innings, and you don't want to run out Dooley for the whole game in this one and not be able to use her at all in the next one. Dooley's ahead in the count, 0-2 to Kendall Funk, who struck out in her first at-bat. And she'll strike out in this one. Kendall Funk sent down second time by McKaylee Dooley. One away here in the top half of the fifth.
The Spartans need to put all their chips in this game. You can't afford to think about next game. This one's not over yet.
I agree with you on that statement. Definitely need to get the first win in this conference series and go from there. The fake bunt slash by Lisa Hopp, the second baseman. Hopp makes contact, and the bunt is sent fouled to Maddie Farrell for the second out of the inning. Great job by Farrell to get the mask off and squeeze that one, as it was a humpback bunt by Lisa Hopp, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Maggie Scott. Strike one to Scott, and Dooley looks to get into his zone. Corners are creeping, potentially expecting a bunt, and that one's way upstairs. Each team with 1 run and 3 hits. Embry Riddle with 1 error. And that one's
tough hop.
Sent to Matic at second base. Took a tough hop. And I'm not sure if that's a hit or an error. We're going to call that one a hit by Maggie Scott, the leadoff hitter for the Eagles. And that'll get a base runner on with 2 outs. And it'll bring up Mackie Chandler.
Scott now 2 for 3 this afternoon.
Yeah, there was a good contact there. Matic was in front of it. And that's a fake swing, or a lazy swing, to try to get in the way of Maddie Farrell, who throws down to second as Maggie Scott steals second. And we're going to get the base runner leaving early, I believe. And that'll be the 3rd out of the inning for the Eagles. Kelsey Dunn, head coach, is kind of confused and asking Bojan Drury for an explanation. But that'll do it for the top half of the 5th. Spartans get out of that one easy. 1-1 ball game here at Namoli Family Stadium. And we're back for the bottom half of the 5th inning. 1-1 ball game. And Jalen Jackson on the mound for the Eagles has been dealing so far. She's only allowed 3 hits, 2 of those to McKaylee Dooley, the opposing pitcher. And like you mentioned, it's all up to Dooley, it seems, for the Spartans.
Offense, defense, she does everything.
Definitely a workhorse in the circle and at the plate. She's the one that secures the 3 spot in the order. Hasn't moved from it all season. So when you have that role, you got to play the role. And now batting 8th in the lineup is Emily Jansen. She'll send that one into shallow center field. And the outreaching Maggie Scott makes an attempt but can't come up with it. That's a base hit, and the leadoff runner is on for the Spartans. Now, we've seen enough ball games so far this season. I'm going to make a fair assumption that we're going to have Erica Matic bunting here, moving the runner into scoring position.
Number 9 hitters get that runner in scoring position for the top half.
Top half of the order coming up with Serena Cortez awaiting on deck. Cortez 0 for 2 on the afternoon, but she went 2 for 4 last night with a double, extending the extra base hit streak to 7 games for the Spartans. Matic attempts to bunt that one, fouls that one straight back. She's behind in the count 0-1. Now, in previous broadcasts, we've talked about the difference between a sacrifice and a bunt for a hit, and she'll get the sacrifice down for the first out. Jayla Jackson makes the play. Same old song and dance by Coach Leslie Canner, huh?
Yep. The Spartans are 1 for 1 with runners in scoring position this afternoon, so try and get that run in.
Serena Cortez at the plate with Jansen standing at second base. A base hit should be able to score Jansen, as these outfielders are playing kind of deep for this leadoff hitter in Cortez.
Cortez 0 for 1 with a sacrifice.
Time called by the catcher, Katie Thompson. Got some dirt in her mask. And now we're back to action. It'd be nice to get McKaylee Dooley some insurance runs. Cortez will look at that called strike.
It'd be nice to get a lead for the first time in a while.
That's for sure, as Spartans have been shut out in back-to-back games. But that streak will end here today in Game 2 of the Sunshine State Conference Series. Jayla Jackson winds and fires. Cortez fouls that one straight back into the netting. Oh, 0-2 count. 1 out after the Matic sacrifice. And Cortez swings and misses through that one. Goes down swinging. 2 away for the Eagles. I think we might have a pinch hitter here, as Emily Profit will hit for Christina Clawberg. Emily Profit, the true freshman. She's played shortstop several times this season for the Spartans. This will be Profit's 30th at-bat of the season. She's batting .414. She held an 8-game hit streak a couple weeks back. And she's got 3 multi-hit games already on this season. So the freshmen are getting opportunities all over the place in this lineup for the Spartans this season. Jackson winds and fires, and that's an inside strike to Emily Profit.
Big spot here. Go ahead, run on second base.
Emily Profit fouls that one straight back, and she's behind in the count, 0-2. McKaylee Dooley on deck, 2 for 2 this afternoon, with an infield single for an RBI in her last at bat. 2 outs for the Spartans, and Profit will swing and miss at that one. The second strikeout of the inning, and the third of the afternoon, the fifth of the afternoon for Jayla Jackson and the Eagles. 1-1 ball game heading to the 6th. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'm Dominic Galone, Christopher Francisco alongside. It's 1:10 here this afternoon, and we've got a couple 1 o'clock starts over at baseball. We've got a 1 o'clock start. They'll take on Barry University in a doubleheader this afternoon. And on the softball side of things, these two teams on the field here, the Spartans and the Eagles, are looking up at Palm Beach Atlantic, who sits at 13-0 in conference, currently on a 17-game win streak. Palm Beach Atlantic has a doubleheader of their own this afternoon, starting at 1 o'clock, and they'll play Florida Tech. The first pitch sent by Dooley is fouled off by Mackie Chandler. Straight back, 0-1 count. Palm Beach Atlantic is 10th in the nation in Division II. They hold an overall record of 20-2. Chandler sends that one up the middle, and that'll be a base hit for the Eagles. Re-entering into the ball game is Christina Clawberg, so that'll be the day for Emily Profit. Standing at the plate now is Katie Thompson.
Now batting number 77, Katie Thompson.
Singled back in the first and flied out to center field in the third. Dooley winds and fires. Thompson will send that one off the glove of Bailey Phillips. That was a rocket down to the hot corner. And 2 runners on for the Eagles. Nothing Phillips could do about that one.
Phillips just able to get a piece of it, keep it from going all the way down the line and perhaps scoring a run.
Yeah, Phillips wasn't able to get a piece of that one. It probably rolls into the corner and potentially scores the speedy Mackie Chandler. However, Chandler is standing on second base. First and second, nobody out, with the 4-hitter Mariana Pereira standing at the plate. First pitch called strike. Spartans got the rotational wheel defense on in case of a bunt. Bailey Phillips will charge. Clawberg will cover third. Jansen a couple feet ahead of the bag at first. And that pitch is in the dirt. Good stop by Maddie Farrell. Dooley winds and fires. The bunt's put down by Pereira. Phillips comes across, fields it, and fires it over to first. Matic covering for the first out of the inning. Bailey Phillips got a cannon over there at third base. Huh,
Great
Chris?
throw.
Now batting number 1, Kayla Rain.
So that'll go down as a sacrifice for Mariana Pereira. And Kyler Rain will step to the plate. The RBI getter in the first inning for the Eagles. And Dooley is kind of wondering where that one is as she flips her hands. That pitch looked right down the middle, but Daniel Batts calls it a ball. Chandler at third. Thompson at second. And Kyler Rain will swing through that one. 1-1 count. On Wednesday, Embry Riddle took on Columbus State, and they swept the doubleheader there. Jayla Jackson got the win in game 1 of that Wednesday doubleheader. And we've got a 1-2 count to Kyler Rain with 2 runners on and only 1 out. Dooley sends down Rain looking, and that's a huge second out of the inning for the Spartans.
That's tough to go down looking there. Second and third, only 1 out. You got to put the bat on the ball.
Yeah,
at least make contact. You're likely to score a run.
Kyler Rain is the leading hitter for the Eagles, but she'll go down looking on that one. And McKaylee Dooley looks to get out of this one cheap. And Lopez sends that one into center field. Cortez underneath of it, and Dooley gets the job done. Runners on second and third, only 1 out, and she gets back-to-back hitters. She's looking and flying out to center field. Great job on McKaylee Dooley, heading to the bottom of the 6th, tie ball game at 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's going to be pitcher to pitcher to lead off this inning as McKaylee Dooley stands at the plate. Leading off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Dooley so far 2 for 2. And she's gotten the job done at the plate and in the circle for the Spartans. Jayla Jackson in the circle for the Eagles. Through 5 innings, she's got 5 strikeouts, allowing only 4 hits, and the only run scored is unearned for the Eagles. But that error came from Jackson on the bunt by Matic that Jackson picked up and threw into right field. Sit at a tie ball game, 1-1. And Jackson winds and fires. And not sure where that one is. Looked like it was right down the middle.
Maybe a little low?
Low, potentially?
Potentially.
Not sure. From this view in the booth, it looked like the pitch was just above the knees to me. Dooley sends that one to the screen behind home plate. Last night, women's lacrosse got a victory at home. They're ranked in the top 25. And Dooley sends that one foul down the left field line. A bunch of ranked teams in this program. However, this softball team is not. Men's lacrosse is doing pretty well on this season. I believe they're in the top 5 or top 10. And the perennial powerhouse, the baseball team, looking good over there in the Sunshine State Conference. Dooley sends that one foul down the left field line yet again. And it's a 1-2 count to McKaylee Dooley. Jackson's done a good job of settling in. Through the first 2 innings, she was at about 35, 40 pitches. And she's only at 65 in this current situation here in the 6th inning. Dooley sends that one foul above the dugout. Trying to work the count and extend Jackson and her pitch count. And it looks like we've got Alona Adringa warming up in the bullpen for the Embry Riddle Eagles. That's kind of the same situation as Sam Kay. Don't know if that's for this game or the next game, but Adringa had a heck of a game last night. Dooley sends that one to the left field. Can of corn for Kyla Rain.
And Adringa not really heating up just yet, just kind of stretching, messing around, stirring.
Okay, something to look out for, as we expect to see her in Game 3 regardless of if she comes in relief here.
Now batting number 15, Bailey Phillips.
Last season when the Spartans and the Eagles came together for the Sunshine State Conference matchup, Adringa pitched in all 3 of those ball games. So it wouldn't surprise me to see her in both of these here today. Bailey Phillips fouls that one straight back.
I wouldn't think they bring her in this one unless they get the lead.
Maybe to kind of shut the door if need be. She really impressed me last night, that off-speed pitch. She kept going back to it. In 2-0 counts, 3-1 counts where she was behind on the hitter, she was filling up the zone with that off-speed. Phillips will try to show hands on that and fouls it off. Jackson winds and fires, and Phillips will cue shot that over the first baseman's head, and that'll be a base hit. Lisa Hopp, the second baseman, tried to get over to it, but just not in time as Bailey Phillips gets her first hit in this series. Maddie Farrell at the plate, and we'll have a pinch runner. It looks like Mackenzie Allen, number 20 for the Spartans, will come on into this game. Mackenzie Allen pinch ran last night for the Spartans. This will be her 19th appearance, most of those coming as a pinch runner. Mackenzie Allen's got 6 runs scored on the season. Back on March 10th was the last time that she crossed the plate for the Spartans. If she could do it now in this situation, it would give them the lead. Maddie Farrell at the plate, and she'll drive that one into left field. Coming in on it is Kyla Rain, and that'll skip in front of her. Base hit, Maddie Farrell. 2 runners on, and the Spartans are gaining some momentum here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
We may get another pinch runner for...
Coach Canner will come on and talk to Daniel Batts. Pinch running for the Spartans is Lauren Pasco. And we've got a bunch of wheels on the base paths for the Spartans. Wheels on the base paths and at the plate as Shelby Press will step to the plate, the leading stolen base getter for the Spartans on this season. Needless to say, a ball in the gap, and they'll be running for days. Shelby Press 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Went down looking in the 2nd inning. Look to put the ball in play, because as a wise coach once told me, put the ball in play and good things will happen. Press will foul the first pitch into the screen. Spartans 1 run on 6 hits. The Eagles 1 run on 5 hits. Eagles with an error. And that was back in the 3rd inning when the Spartans got on the board. Jayla Jackson winds and fires with the 0-1 count. And Press will give a check swing. However, it's an inside strike. 0-2 to Shelby Press. It's a big spot here for Press. She can't go down swinging or looking. She needs to put the ball in play, and she'll do that, but it'll be foul down the left field line.
Just a little out in front on that pitch.
What's pretty interesting to see is Embry Riddle, the players all have wristbands. And so they all look into the dugout, and Shelby Press will swing and miss at that one. And that'll be out number 2 and the 2nd strikeout of the day for Shelby Press. Getting back to what I was saying, the Embry Riddle players look into the dugout before every pitch, and then they all look at their wristbands to see, I guess, maybe what the pitch call is or what the play call is for maybe bunt coverages, as the Spartans do have 2 runners on base. But now we've got 2 outs with Taylor Farrell at the plate. Taylor Farrell with a single already this afternoon. 1 for 2. Flied out to right field in her last at bat. Jackson winds and fires. And just a bit inside, that'll be a ball. 1-1 count to Taylor Farrell. Mackenzie Allen at second. Lauren Pasco at first. Both pinch runners for the Spartans. Taylor Farrell at the dish with 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Farrell drives that one deep into left field, and that one will fall for a base hit. Allen will come around to score. Pasco trying to score herself. And that'll be a 2 RBI double for Taylor Farrell. Spartans will take the 3-1 lead. A heck of a job by Taylor Farrell to get her 2nd hit of the afternoon. That one drive deep into left field, and that'll beat Kyla Rain.
Finally, a big hit for the Spartans. They're able to take the lead.
Stand-up double by Taylor Farrell. Huge opportunity there, and she came through. As we mentioned with the 2 pinch runners on, Lauren Pasco was able to score from first base. And Coach Canner keeps telling us she wants Taylor Farrell's bat in the lineup, and it's really showing off here in Game 2 of this series. 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs off of that base hit. That's a clutch spot there by Taylor Farrell. And now we'll get a pinch runner. Bree Taphouse will come on to play. And Coach Canner kind of patting Taylor Farrell on the head. Didn't look like Farrell wanted to leave the game there. But now we've got 2 outs. Spartans lead 3-1. Emily Jansen at the plate. Jackson winds and fires, and that's a called strike on the outer half. Taylor Farrell continues a hot streak as of late. Last weekend, she was 6 for 9 in the series against Nova Southeastern. Jansen fouls that one out of play. Taylor Farrell, the designated player. That's a big spot by her to come through in the clutch for the Spartans. Top of the 7th, it'll be up to Dooley to shut the door as the Eagles have 7, 8, 9 coming up. And that pitch is called for a ball. And Emily Jansen trails 1-2 in the count. Jackson winds and fires. The off speed. Jansen drives it in the 5.5 hole, coming around his tap house. And we haven't had a call yet by the home plate umpire. I think there's an interference call. And there is. Tap house will score. Emily Jansen with a double for the Spartans. They'll send her back to second base as home plate umpire Daniel Batts called interference. Brianna Taphouse comes around to score, and the Spartans lead 4-1. That's a huge spot there by the freshman Emily Jansen.
The catcher Thompson was blocking the plate before the ball even got there.
There you
Didn't
go.
give a lane for the runner to score.
A little bit of a disagreement by Embry Riddle, but it was the right call. And the Spartans have extended this lead to 3. That'll be huge for Dooley to get some insurance runs. And hopefully put away this Embry Riddle lineup and get the victory in Game 2 of this conference series. The Eagles come together in the circle, try to refocus as Erica Matic stands at the plate. Matic reached on an error back in the 3rd inning and came around to score for the first run of the ball game for the University of Tampa. Matic went 1 for 3 last night. And she'll look at the called ball up and away. Jackson was in a zone for most of this ball game. However, the Spartans were able to get the upper hand, driving a couple here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Matic looks at the called strike. Kaylee Dooley already out of the dugout and ready to go. She looks like she's itching for this top of the 7th inning. Jackson fires, and that's a called strike. Matic behind in the count, 1-2. That's the thing about Dooley. She's always ready to go. When she gets the ball back from the catcher, she gets on the rubber, normally working at a fast pace. Matic fouls that one straight back. Still a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Serena Cortez awaits on deck. Matic drives that one into center field. Maggie Scott underneath of it, and we're headed to the 7th inning. Spartans lead 4-1, and they'll look to close it out here with 3 final outs with 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Eagles. Welcome back for Christopher Francisco. I'm Dominic Galone. This is the top of the 7th inning. Spartans lead 4-1. And McKaylee Dooley gets the leadoff hitter, Destiny Carroll, to send it into left field. Shelby Press underneath of it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Nice over-the-shoulder catch by Press in the gap. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Really showing off them wheels out in left field. Heck of a job able to track that softball. And Dooley will look to get her 16th win with 2 more outs here in the top of the 7th inning. It looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here, Aaron Chester, coming on for the Eagles. Chester played in last night's ball game. It'll be interesting to see if she can carry some momentum from Friday night into this one. Eagles down to the final 2 outs. Spartans looking to get their 9th conference win of the season. McKaylee Dooley winds and fires, and Chester will look at the called strike. So far, 6 1/3 for McKaylee Dooley. Only 3 Ks in this ball game, 1 walk, and 5 hits allowed, as that one's up and away. She's really kept the pitch count down, and I think that's the reason why, well, she hasn't had many strikeouts, and I think that's the reason why the pitch count is down.
Not too many long at-bats, especially with both teams trying to bunt a lot.
Yeah, after last night, with the 12 Ks in 9 innings, maybe the Eagles have a little bit of a read on McKaylee Dooley. Chester looks at the called strike on the outer half. 2-2 count with 1 away. Chester currently batting .227, and she'll chop that one to Clawberg at shortstop. Clawberg makes the throw, but Chester is safe at first. Bang, bang play, but Chester was able to beat it out by a half a step. Now batting is Lisa Hopp. Hopp went 1 for 4 last night. She was called out in the 2nd inning as she bunted it, but she was out of the box. Therefore, she was out. And she'll send that one into center field. Cortez underneath of it. 2 away for the Spartans.
And now the Eagles are down to their final out.
Down to the final out. Spartans looking to end the Eagles' 8-game win streak. Dooley winds and fires. And that'll be a called strike to leadoff hitter Maggie Scott. Scott 2 for 3 on the afternoon after going 1 for 4 last night. Scott flares that one into shallow left field, and Clawberg underneath of it for the final out of the ball game. McKaylee Dooley able to grab the 16th win of the season for herself. Able to get yet another complete game. That's her 20th complete game in 21 starts. Heck of a job by McKaylee Dooley, and the Spartans able to take this one 4-1 in 7 innings.
And now it's time for your happy recap of the game. For Embry Riddle, 1 run on 6 base hits, 1 error. For Tampa, 4 runs on 8 hits, 1 error.
Spartans moved to 18-13 on the season, 9-8 in conference. Embry Riddle moves to 25-7 and 12-4 in conference. We'll be back shortly for Game 3 of the series in this Sunshine State Conference matchup. Stay with us. For Christopher Francisco, I'm Dominic Galone.
Robin.
And I'm Chris.
We're the brothers behind Firehouse Subs. The last thing anyone needed was another sub shop.
They needed a better one.
We built Firehouse Subs on quality and quantity.
And I'm the quality.
Why my quantity?
Are you kidding?
Try our hook and ladder sub.
Smoked turkey breasts, Virginia honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese.
Yeah, all served steaming hot on a toasted sub roll. Our way beats their way. If you don't agree,
it's free.
On him.
It's on him.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.